Good afternoon. We are here live from the Mendham Golf and Tennis Club here in beautiful Mendham, New Jersey. I am Drew Broderick alongside rackets professional Anya Bayukian and local legend John Anderson. John plays out of the Morristown Field Club in Morristown, New Jersey. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Hello.
Well, guys, we moved this event to a noon start time as we're trying to get it all in ahead of the forecast for later today. The crowd is rolling in, and the food's going, the DJ's going, and the bar is wide open. So let's introduce the players who we have here today. About to serve is Jose Salazar, and he is partnering up with Alvi Regalado. To return serve from the Short Hills Club, Chris Humphreys, and Chris is partnering up with Russell Benkheim, assistant professional at the Fiddler's Elbow Club in New Jersey. Just to give everybody a little understanding of the format. Today's event is round robin play. Each player will play with a different partner every round, and it's only one set per round. We're playing with a no-ad scoring system where the serving team will decide who they serve to when the score is deuce. What do you think about that format, John?
I like the way it speeds up play, but I have a question for you to go back to you is, does your strategy change at all when you go to no-ad scoring versus regular? Do you do anything different?
No. I mean, I try to actually play matches and not pay attention to the score. So, you know, for me, it is exactly the same. You know, as much as after the match you could kind of reflect back on how many deuce points you won or lost. You know, at the end of the day, in a real match, you could go back and say, how many ad points did you win or lose?
Right.
So, Anya, you're a little quiet right now. Today, I think, is your first time commentating one of the Pro Flight or even APTA matches, so you get your first set out of the way. What you've watched all these players before. What are you looking to see here?
Well, I'm excited to see how the new team, Benkheim and Humphreys, how they decide to play. These two guys who have been actually playing a few tournaments together already, so they have a little experience over them. So I'm excited to see what the other side, the returners, what do they come up with today.
Yeah, so something anybody watching out there should know. Russell and Chris, they are the recent winners of the Steel City tournament in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Jose and Alvi are the Baltimore Open champions. So both of these teams have one NRT victory under their belt. So that was my inspiration for putting this first set together.
You know, as a longtime player, we've seen the same names over and over, and it's nice to see the new names in the sport, really kind of turning up the level of play. You know, there was a time when I wish I could play like that. Well, I still wish I could play like that, but it's just great to watch, you know, how good these, I guess they're all tennis players that have come out and started to play paddle, and it's great to see how they've, you know, accepted the game, and it looks like they've fallen in love with it, playing the sport. It's great. It's great for the sport.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I mean, 3 out of the 4 guys on this court right now haven't even been playing more than 3 seasons.
Right.
And they've already worked their way up to, you know, top of the rank. So it's, you know, some players get it really fast. There are some great rackets players that seem to take a much longer time. But yes, it's definitely good to see.
And from a spectator view, you're seeing changes in the standard partnerships. Not so much with the like Mitchell Durant and all that, but here, you know, you've seen Chris Humphries play with a couple different players with good success. So it's nice to see it get mixed up as well.
What's also fun about this one-set format is, you know, a lot of times when you know it's a 2 out of 3 match, if you get a little bit down in that first set, there's no real pressure because, you know, there's a ton of match left. Well, when you know you just get to play this opponent for 1 set, you know, the early games, I think, are a little bit more important. You know, I think a popular line that a lot of the commentators talk about is the first set's not half the match. The first set's probably closer to 30% of the match. Well, when it's only 1 set, the first set's 100% of the match. So that's a little different. I had mentioned before, Chris Humphries is the director of rackets at the Short Hills Club in Short Hills, New Jersey. Russell Benkheim is the assistant pro at Fiddler's Elbow, also in New Jersey. Jose Salazar is the director at the Stanwich Club in Greenwich, Connecticut. And Alvi Regalado, he is a pro at Orange Lawn Tennis Club. So 3 out of 4 of these players are a big part of the New Jersey Men's League. Chris Humphries right there missing his finishing move. Unfortunately, the ball stayed on his own side. And it's great to have Jose, who also played in the last Pro Flight event, coming back to Jersey. I will say, lots of firepower from all 4 guys.
Well, there isn't a shot that any one of them can't hit.
That's correct. They all have the finishing move, big forehands, big backhands. They all have a nice tennis resume.
So this will come down to who's the more focused to make those winning shots as opposed to somebody that's playing lax.
That's right. And
obvious comment, but
let's not forget, too, it's also 30 degrees out. 30 degrees, it's a lot tougher to spin a ball than when it's 40 degrees or 50 degrees.
It's true.
We also have a side court playing at all times. And in this round robin, you'll see some different guys on the stream each round. And court number 2 is featuring John Lubau and Dan Wright against Daniil Tarantinov and Pitar Tomek. Pitar is the host pro here at the Mendham Golf and Tennis Club. Daniil is also a local pro at the Morristown Field Club. Dan Wright plays out of Brookside Swim and Tennis Club. And John Lubau, well, John Lubau's a civilian. He does, Dan's also a civilian, so it's the civilians versus the pros. John Lubau plays out of Morristown Field Club as well. we're going to get to see some of those guys in a little while. All right, Anya, so we see here in this one-set format, this is a pretty big game for Alvi to be serving. Great get. Humphreys is locked in. Humphreys is swinging away right now.
Couple of loose shots there. I'm very familiar with those.
Well, it's three games to love. I was talking to somebody earlier, John, before we went live, and I had mentioned that Stephen Mitchell and Johan Durant, they played a lot of early in their career, their first matches through pro flight paddle events. And then, you know, the rest is history. They've won 3 national championships together. Another team that was started with pro flight was Tyler Frazier and Adam Morgan.
That's right.
And that was simply, neither of them had a partner. And I say, why don't you two play together? And now they've been probably in the semifinals the last 3 or 4 years in a row, doing great.
That's where you you partnered with them, partnered them together at the Fiddlers tournament, correct?
That's correct. And actually,
and they won it.
They won it against Johan and
That's
Steven,
right.
which is maybe still the best final we've seen in a pro flight event till this day. But yeah, it's good to see. So my point on that is, I don't know, Russell and Chris, they had a great coming out party in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Chris has struggled against Alvi and Jose and Guillermo Nunez in the last couple meetings, but who knows, maybe Russell, I don't know, maybe it's, sometimes partnerships just change. It's all about matchups.
So Drew, along those lines where you say, you know, Chris has struggled against Alvi and so forth, is there any player out there that you've played that you turn around and go, that's probably my toughest opponent? Which I know I'm putting you on the spot in front of, you know, everybody here on the live stream, but.
No, I mean, historically, I feel like I just always have to be the most locked in whenever I would play against Johan Durant.
I think everybody does.
Yeah, I mean, I fortunately have won some matches against him, but I would definitely say I always have to be at my best, and my B game is just not going to be good enough to play against him. I also think, you know, winning and losing is usually on his paddle. There's not too many people in the game that I can honestly say influence a match more than he does.
I agree with that. When you spend the time watching those live streams, he just dictates so much. But I've also noticed, Drew, you know, as you've come up over the years and won your national champions, you've got that same, you can lock down, you can do a lot of that same stuff. It's just a question of timing, who has it that day, you know, who doesn't make that one mistake.
Yeah, and game plans, right? I mean, how confident are you in a game plan?
Right.
And, you know, I think it's fair to say you go out there against any of the best players. If you don't have a game plan, you're going to lose. And if you have a solid game plan that you believe in, you're going to be right there. Then it's just execution.
Nice handcuff.
Handcuffed him. Russell got caught looking for a forehand, which if you've been to any Telluride paddle camps, you know, don't look for forehand volleys, because you'll get in trouble.
It's good communication at the net.
Yep.
I know all of these players took a little bit of break the past week and a half or so, whether it's to go home and visit their families or go skiing or a little of both. So they went from 10 days of R&R to in the spotlight here with a nice crowd watching and some prize money on the line. John, let me ask you, you've watched a lot of paddle in your day, club level, professionals. Do you think there's a big difference in the pro level paddle today as there was 10 years ago? What would you say the difference is?
In my opinion, what you're seeing now is such a big influx of college tennis players taking a liking to this sport. Whereas back in the day when I started, I realized the other day I've been playing for 32 years in the NJMPTA, and that back then it was club players, and now you have such an influx of, let's call it, professionals, and that's elevated the sport a great deal. Bringing everybody up with it, because A, they're teaching us, B, we're watching it, we're learning, we're getting better. So I do see the evolution, just like you do in golf, et cetera. Hitting harder, more spin, et cetera, is all out there.
I don't think I would do the aggressive.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. I agree with that. I also just see, with the more players, the depth in the game. Right?
100%.
I think the top 1 to 4 teams in the country 15 years ago are just as good as the top 1 to 4 teams right now. In fact, a lot of them are still the same. But the depth is there. I mean, team number 20 is a lot better than team 20 15 years ago.
I agree. I also think with technology change, the racket, the ball, the game has had to make a change as well, and how it's played. I think the new situation does cotton to, those real solid tennis players. I think in the old day you could get, a player that was a great athlete to be able to do well in this, but now with, technology, et cetera, changing the game, the average guy, while it helps them, it gives the pros that much more advantage.
Okay, we got a 30-40 point. I thought we were going to get to a no-ad. We haven't had a no-ad point yet, right?
I haven't seen one.
Yeah, maybe we should start paying attention a little bit more. That's a tough one. Well, here's why that's a tough miss. Chris is forcing that ball into Jose's side screen on his forehand side. So even if that ball is in, you're looking at a high forehand coming from Jose. It's not much of a reset or even bailout shot.
Drew, it looks like that first set on the other court is finished. Do we know? Do we know what happened with that?
Let's check here. Okay. John Lubau and Dan Wright, the civilians, took down the pros. Daniil Tarantinov and Peter Tomic, 6-1.
We might not have to be able to call them civilians anymore.
we always have to call them civilians. this match once I started singing their praises. 3 games lost. We're at 3-all, 30-all. No different than 0-0 here.
So Anya, you're a tennis player and you're now into the paddle scene. What's your take on how do you like paddle now? Would you play it over tennis?
I think at this point, yes. I feel like I haven't played tennis in a while. And honestly, I just love the fact that you can do an outdoor sport. I feel like tennis would be a little bit miserable to play in this weather, being outside. But I feel like paddle just brings a nice change of pace. Also, I feel like when you're a teaching pro, it's much more fun to be able to do both. You know, like you teach tennis in the summer, and just by the time you get a little bit tired of doing that, here comes the paddle season where you can change it up, and it just gives you a nice change of pace.
I agree.
Okay, so I'm not actually sure what just happened there. I think our scorekeeper is watching a different match. Okay, so all right, everyone. So that's how much we were following the score.
A finely oiled machine.
Yes, 6-1.
Okay. You know, it's funny
Okay,
because
we'll-
at the beginning also I was watching the score here and I was like, I'm pretty sure they just won those first couple games.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get
And
fired,
then-
John, Anya.
I doubt it.
Okay, well, somebody's in trouble. Well, we are, I guess, a little bit. Well, round 2 match, that'll be on the stream. I will be partnering up with Jose Salazar, and we will be going up against Alvi Regalado and John Lubau. So if you are at home streaming, try to follow the score on your own. I would not rely on us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private, your legacy, our discipline.
That's good though. I'm glad they got it. You're lucky that they didn't take all the new stuff. Well, it's funny. It was in the front. Oh, I forgot the ball. Go in the kitchen. They're good guys. Yeah, they're good.
No way. Wow. All right, we'll talk after.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Mendham Golf Club, where we're watching the Pro Flight Paddle Round Robin. With me, I have Craig Hall from the Mendham Country Club and the Morristown Field Club, a double dipper, along with Peter, who's the pro here at Mendham Country Club. Peter, who do we have on the court right now?
Hey, how are you doing? We have Alvi and John playing against Jose and Drew Broderick. So kind of like 3 pros and 1 civilian going on.
Exactly. To stay with our theme from the earlier match, calling John Lubau a civilian.
Pete, can you reset the format a little bit, what they're doing?
Yeah, so there's a 6-game set with no ad scoring, and the server is choosing where the server is going to serve. Yeah, so fast pace, and we're just looking for some amazing paddle in the second round.
I take it these guys don't really want to grind much out there.
No, especially now with the break in the season, everyone is kind of like getting back to it, and you'll see a lot of drives, and as we can see, Drew Broderick 2 drives back in a row. So
to the civilian.
Yeah.
The 2 of them have seen that play itself out quite a few times in tournaments playing against each other.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, they know each other's game really well. And then we have, you know, Alvi is arguably one of the hottest Jersey players right now. And we're lucky enough to have one of his probably steady partners, Jose Salazar, all the way from Stanwich Club in New York. So, you know, we got that privilege to watch them here today at Mendham.
Safe to say, Pete, Jersey paddle is where it's at right now?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at like so many players, you know, you do have Nunez as well from Pelham Country Club, who's kind of playing with Jose, but for the most part, yeah, you see a lot of successful players right now playing in Jersey. I think a lot of people transitioned and focusing on paddle a lot more than I would say ever before, especially on the young side. You see so many young players coming in.
That's funny, in this match compared to the first one where almost all of them played already, so you're seeing them come out swinging as opposed to your earlier question, Craig, of grinding. I'm certainly hoping that we can see some of these great, you know, cutters, etc., that these guys can hit that this regular guys cannot. Makes it a lot these exhibitions very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Like that first match is always kind of like an intro, and you know, we saw kind of both matches in the first round going pretty quickly, and some of the misses that you usually don't see from the guys, but you can already see in the second round that spins are coming in, rollers are coming in as Jose's hitting one. So, you know, more movement and just people are more warmed up, ready to go.
So the question to the 2 of you is, are we going to see John Lubau execute the dagger?
I really hope so.
Well, let's define for the audience what the dagger is.
So the dagger is effectively a volley using the edge of the paddle as opposed to the face of the paddle.
Yeah, so.
And John is famous for it.
Yeah,
and
he
in
really
this
is.
style, I can't imagine he's not going to try it.
Yeah, I think definitely. I'm calling round 3. I don't think it's going to come before round 3, but I think by round 3 we're going to see one. Oh, that's a great roller.
That's really the new shot in paddle for, you know, when I started playing quite a few years ago, the roller was not a weapon, and now, as we talked in the earlier match about the increase in technology, etc., and the level of play, that hard roller into the nick has become such a weapon at this level.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like a transition of the game. I think when the spins showed up, like people were struggling to kind of control them a little bit. But even as we see like great spin and Alvi just kind of like went all the way down and got it, you know. So I think that spins are slowly, like everyone is really getting familiar with them and reading them really well. So that, and in addition, you have a lot more tennis players like coming in where kind of like a roller is a signature shot versus a cutter, you know. So
these guys also seem like they're all anticipating the overhead and are cheating up the line to try to cut that off and get a quick winner.
Yeah, definitely. Because, you know, if you at this level, if you stay in that corner for long enough, someone is going to make an amazing shot, you know. So you don't have that luxury of just kind of like relaxing in a corner for 5-6 shots, because you're going to see something spectacular coming your way. Oh, it's a great shot.
A rare miss.
Yeah.
That's where that roller,
Yeah.
right, caused an error.
Yeah. Well, it forces you to get out of the position and then like fly in, you know, like it gets you out of that corner, and then you have to not just like run away from the ball, but also like get back in a position and hit it. So it opens up a lot for the net game. Oh,
Looked out from Drew.
yeah.
Nice call by John.
I feel like Drew started playing faster over the years. Maybe that's just me, but I remember when I saw him for the first time, I think I fell asleep. He was just lobbing till eternity.
And that lobbing to eternity got him, what, 2 or 3 national championships?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy.
Peter, I agree with you that for Drew, he is speeding the game up a little bit more than in the past. But I think because of the influx now of so many good tennis players, it's kind of forced that issue. You know, you can only play defense for so long.
Yeah, and I think like we see that on all levels, you know, like we see that on a teaching level and on a playing level. I've been noticing that all of us are starting to teach a little bit faster paddle, you know, so it's almost kind of like everything that we taught a couple of years ago, now you have to reteach people how to play a little bit faster, you know, so it's an interesting game, you know, like it's constantly evolving, so I think that's what's exciting about it.
Agreed. Oh, nice get off the net.
Great get. Good, really good point.
Oh, what a lob.
Just long.
Rare lob mistake.
So I think that's 2 love, Lubao, Rigaldi.
Yeah.
So Pete, in your first lesson next week, how many are going to ask you to teach them the roller and the cut shot?
I was already asked that question. So
And what is your answer?
week after this. You know, it's always interesting, and we were fortunate enough to be invited last night to the Niels boot camp in Morristown Field Club, and you know we taught for 4 years very specific things, and then we stayed and played an exhibition afterwards, and it was an interesting comment because ladies were like, and guys were, wait, you didn't do anything that you were telling us to do. You were doing everything opposite. Yeah.
So, as most people know, you know, I have a son that plays and teaches, and the other day I was on the court with him, and I said, Blake, how do you hit that cutter? And his comment was, Dad, you don't need to learn how to hit the cutter.
Don't worry about it, Dad.
Just
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Although, John, for you and I, that cutter will work, right? Not at this level.
true.
Yeah. How is Blake, by the way?
He's doing great. He's chasing after his 2 kids,
Yeah.
and he's really enjoying his time over at Fairmont, which is such a great venue, good group of guys. I can only speak about the guys. I'm sure the women are the same, but he's really enjoying it. He's, you know, right now not playing tournaments, but
Great lob.
Communication.
Great lob.
Great
Hey,
lob, though.
we should give a shout out to Fairmont. They did a wonderful job for the League
yeah.
Classic.
100%.
That Monday night is a spectacular night.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. You know, like I actually never been to Fairmont until this year somehow, and we were playing like a league match, and during the season, and it's a spectacular place.
It truly is.
Oh. Jose really emerged, like playing unbelievable paddle. Oh. Caught him, but that's a great volley.
Civilian lost the first game of this set.
Yeah.
Still 2-1. Lubao, Ricaldo changing sides. Looks like we're getting a good crowd out there, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, we were anticipating around 100 or so people. I think that we're beating that number slowly. So I think it's a great time for Mendham. It's a good event. It's an opportunity for our members to see some of the best players playing in the country. And it's just a great kickoff our second part of the season.
And it's a good thing we moved it up to noon because here in Mendham, New Jersey, the snow has started.
Yeah.
If you're in the area, come on out. Some of the best paddle in the country.
Yeah. Drew and I were nervous the whole week whether we're gonna escape the weather or not. So I think it was a right call starting earlier, and I think we actually had a lot more people join us because it was earlier weather. I think that we were losing some people due to potential bad weather. So,
well, look, paddle is supposed to be played in this weather.
Yeah, John, I was just about to say that.
We cannot get like golf where the conditions have to be pristine to play.
Yeah, I was just about to say, honestly, like ever since I started playing paddle, nothing is better than playing paddle in the snow, so.
But there's nothing worse than playing paddle in the rain.
Absolutely.
We just witnessed 2 patented John Lubau drop shots that were easily returned. Good point.
Yeah. But no dagger.
No dagger yet. No dagger yet.
Somebody go out and yell to John to give it a shot.
Great transition, great shift.
So if you're thinking of coming out to Mendham, take advantage of it. First, the paddle's great, but we've got great food going. Somebody just walked by with a couple of plates that look pretty enticing.
There's a big line for food. We have a DJ here. A lot of booze, of course.
Well, booze and paddle.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
It's like...
Yeah, Ron, our chef here, who's catering the food, is just amazing. He provides the best food for this kind of events, and we love having him here. So shout out to him as well.
Yeah, the Field Club, we experienced the food last year at this event, and we've been taking advantage of Chef Ron's capabilities as well over at the Field Club.
I think he comes like almost kind of like every week kind of thing, right?
We have a men's night on Wednesday night during the season as a practice, and Chef Ron provides the fuel source for us.
Nice.
On Wednesdays. It's great, and what's great about paddle, forget about the play, but the total camaraderie and everything around it. We talked about the booze, or the beer and the bourbon, and folks standing outside in 30-degree weather, talking, having a great time. That's the best part about paddle for me, is really it's the society it's created for us, friends I've made, etc. So if you've never really experienced that, come on out. There's a good chance.
Yeah, no, it's a great community, and I think everyone, yes, it's competitive, but at the same time, everyone is here for the good time and just kind of like a party, which is amazing.
So Peter, you came out of a tennis background, and now you're playing paddle.
Yeah.
What number is paddle in your? Is it 1 or 2?
You know, I've been playing tennis for so long and on a certain level that I kind of have to say that tennis is there, still kind of like leading. But what I love about paddle is, and by no means I'm not saying that I cannot improve in tennis, but it seems like paddle is constantly evolving, and that's the one thing that really kind of gets me going about paddle is that once you learn one shot, another play pops up, and it's more of a strategic game versus tennis, like big serve, hard forehand, put the ball away kind of thing.
Right.
You got to be very strategic, very consistent when you're playing paddle, and it's getting there. It's getting there.
Sure.
I don't want to say yet number one, but it's getting there.
What's
Nice.
next for you, Pete, on the tournament schedule?
I think just like Blake, I have a young daughter, so she's preoccupying most of my free time. But I am playing Atlantic, Short Hills, and then most likely in Boston Nationals. So I'm gonna be 3 more tournaments this season. Those are the 3 Saturdays that I'm kind of allowed to do.
And are you pretty solid with a good partner?
Yeah.
Same partner?
For the most part, Tyler Owens and I from Bayhead.
Sure.
How
Playing.
have you gotten to know him?
So Tyler and I met actually last year during the Pro Flight. We did last year. We for the first time here in Mendham, we hosted a Pro Flight where Tyler and I played as a new to the area, up and coming directors, whatever it was called, and so that's how I met him. We actually were partnered together without actually knowing him that well, if I remember correctly. I think that's how we met the first time, and we kind of kicked off. I really didn't have a partner for the Short Hills last year, and I just shoot him a text, and we honestly had a ball that whole day. It was super fun day, super nice guy, and so we kind of kicked off, and we played a couple of tournaments this year, and just trying to get better.
You did well in Philly, right?
We did okay in Philly. I mean, definitely we're looking to get a little bit better in these tournaments. You know, a couple of wins kind of slipped got away from us. Long Island.
You mean you snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, or defeat from the jaws of victory, I think, as they say?
Yeah, exactly. You know, so but you know how it is. Like, I mean, you guys play paddle. It's all about teamwork, right? And so every tournament we actually get better because every tournament I know more what he can hit and what I can hit, and we start working better as a team. So every tournament I would say we play better and better.
Nice.
Now it's just finding that right tune on a given day. You know.
Wow. Just loose shot there by Drew.
Yeah, amazing shot.
So I had the great opportunity to meet Tyler through Noah Seidenberg at Xenon Paddle.
Oh, yeah.
And in the process, I asked Tyler to play in the Last Chance, which is a great tournament run at Springbrook in the first weekend in April. And I had one of the greatest times outside of playing with my son, obviously, but had a great time with Tyler.
Or me, John.
Well, that goes without saying. And, you know, such a gentleman, great, you know, really a great addition to the Jersey paddle scene. I think he came from Kentucky.
Kentucky, yes. Yes.
And a man after my own heart, likes cigars and bourbon.
Yes, exactly.
So not only did we play well, but we partied well, too.
He likes to turn up.
So we got a switch here. We'll set the stage. We got the Civilian, Lou Bao, and Rigaldo up 4-1 in the first set as they switch sides. Salazar to serve. And the snow is coming.
Yep.
Whiffed and still got it.
I think he did that on purpose.
Did he?
I think the heaters are going to be coming out soon.
know, I think if these guys lock down, these points could last 15 minutes.
Yes. I was just thinking about it. I was looking at the score, and I'm like 4-1, but we're kind of 2 games away, but this can be like next 30 minutes.
You're right.
Especially, you know, looking at Jose and Drew, this is far from over. A couple of points here and there.
There you
just
go.
like this.
That.
Just
You just
like
called
that.
it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the biggest thing about paddle. Of every sport I've played, I've never seen bigger micro movements of momentum.
Oh, what a shot! There we go. Putters are
Then
coming
there's
up.
in paddle.
Is that
right?
Alvy?
Yes.
You can be up 5-2 and it's not a sure thing. It's actually, for a lot of us club players, it's the worst score in the world.
5-2.
Yeah.
You're up 5-2 serving and pressure's on, and you play to you don't play to win, you play not to lose, and you lose,
Yeah.
etc. And
Yeah. No, I often get a question from people. How do I play when I'm like 5-1 up?
Here we are right now. We should be 5-1 up.
Yeah.
5-1 up.
Yeah.
so we have a score from up top. We've got Chris Humphreys and Tarantinov lost to Wright and Russell on the other court. That just got done. And the score of that match was 6-4.
So, Pete, they'll take those with the highest number of wins and play like a final, or not? How are they going to do this?
I think at this point, we are kind of waiting to see how that end is going to play out, depending on the weather. I think that we're looking for a couple of rounds, and then if we have time, we might have some kind of like at the end playoff. But it really depends on the timing and the weather.
Hey, listen, we're playing. You're playing. It doesn't matter what the weather's doing. That's paddle. I'm sorry. Craig, how many times have we played in absolute slop?
A ton. I'm not sure how the Mendham heaters are, though, Pete.
Yeah, I hope that they.
I've played on them for about 20 years. I don't think they've been changed.
We've been working on them, but you know, it's always a challenge. John and Alvy seem like that they have a pretty good grip on this match.
They do. That was a chance, John. That was
There
a
we
chance
go.
for the dagger.
I was
Yeah.
thinking it. I frankly don't think John's thinking about it.
He's here to win the matches. You know, it's interesting to see that, you know, like you have Alvy and Jose. I mean, obviously amazing players. But, you know, you have also John, on the other hand, and Drew with so much experience, you know. So it's always interesting to see how these things play out. Oh, what a get.
Good get. Oh, great. Oh, he was right there. The crowd likes that one. All right, so Broderick Salazar get back to 5-2.
The dreaded 5-2.
There we go.
But going back to the momentum shifts in this sport, just, you know, even at the top level, right? One little thing, things start to swing and.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like it's 5-2. You know, oh, you can't get ball down to Alvy. Yeah, you know, like exactly, like 5-2. You go up 15-30 love, you know, you already kind of have a sense that it's probably going to be like 5-3, and then, you know, you're kind of in a set at that point, like you're in a set.
Untypical of Drew, they're hitting that forehand like that.
Yeah. Shot.
Look at that. Just
Nice
missed
try.
it. Yep, great try.
Tell you what, you look around the courts, and it's great to see all these people watching this live. Numbers have really grown. It's great.
Yeah.
You guys are putting on a good show here.
Yeah, we've been promoting it and, you know, working on it, and we have a great group of people in a club who also spend a lot of time promoting it. So I'm super excited to see the numbers constantly. Every time I look through the window, there's more and more people. So.
Exactly.
So come on down if you're in the Mendham area.
5-3.
Here we go.
5-3.
Our 4 who just got off the court are going to have a nice little rest.
That's right.
They're right behind us.
Grab some food, grab some drinks. Oh, what a roller.
Oh, John got that.
Oh. That's an easy one for him.
Yeah. Although the ball is starting to skid a little bit more, you know, so.
But it is for everybody.
Yeah, of course.
So when it's skidding, Peter, it favors folks that can put more spin on it. There's a favor of flatter ball.
There's a net court.
Yeah, you know, like usually.
All of a sudden we're at love 30.
Yeah. You know, like you want, the more you put on a ball, you know, like the more it kind of skids through the court, whether it's a topspin, whether it's a, you know, cutter of some sort or dollar head, so. But the ball does leave your paddle quicker, so.
Do you ever, Peter, ever have discussions with the members when you're giving lessons, clinics on how to change the game and the strategy in bad weather?
Yeah, you know, and sometimes I'm usually here in the home matches, and I watch home matches. Obviously, I don't coach during those matches, but if we know that the weather is going to be different for that particular day, we do have a discussion. Hey, like, you know, you can't be playing this way. You have to play in a certain way, and the way that you hit the ball, and what to expect, especially depending on the level that some of our ladies are playing and men. So yeah, we definitely have that discussion. You know, it's always just a challenge whether that's going to be executed or not. But you can see that these rollers are traveling significantly quicker.
Yes.
Suddenly.
And I can hear they're sliding a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a big one. Match point. Oh no, sorry.
No,
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Well,
deuce.
Add out.
Add
So
out.
there we go again.
Yeah.
5-4.
5-4.
wait, guys, weren't we just at 5-2?
5-2. The dreaded 5-2.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I've never been called a prophet, but I could be prophetic. Nice shot.
I hope none of my ladies are not watching that shot because I told them never to hit into that alley from there.
The old saying, don't try this at home, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just like that, points are going away.
Ooh.
If it is it a tiebreaker at 6-all or 5-all? Do you know?
I think 6-all.
6.
It's a regular set with no ad scoring unless they decide to kind of, because the other guys were done way before them, so maybe just to get it going, maybe a 5-all. I don't know.
They may not even know the other court's done.
True.
Missed it.
Wow. Very uncharacteristic.
Yep.
30-all, 4 serving 5.
But we can all relate.
Sometimes too much.
John wanted that ball. Good nick, and he had it, no problem.
Nope. go. But what's great to see here is, you know, we've been watching this set, and there was some fancy shots and like drives and fast pace, but 5-4, 30 all, we see a lot of steady overheads and a lot of steady lobs.
A little more lockdown.
Yeah. Which tells you that that traditional paddle is still there. You know, when it really matters, it's still there.
Nice shot by Drew.
Right there.
It's a great point.
Yeah. Still 30 all.
Oh, 30 all, 5-4.
Strategic point. I hope everyone is watching outside this point because
Missed it.
there we go.
A point for 5-5.
Boy, Alvey loves
the
cut
back.
that side ball, that side wire shot off, and he reads it so early.
Yeah. You know, and he's so quick, so athletic. No matter how soon you want to catch him. Last night we were playing, and you know, you feel like you have time, and he's still there.
Pete, talk about that for a minute. When he's crouching up on the side to try to hit a side drive, is he telling his partner, or his partner should just be reacting to cover for him?
You know, again, we talked about partnerships and strategic play. I think that that's his signature shot. And so when you play with him, you have to expect to cover that middle because you know that he's going to look for that opportunity. So, you know, as his partner, you should be aware of that. Match point. No
There it is.
way.
There it is.
Oh, it is. That's right. No,
The civilian Lou Balregado, take it.
Another one.
6-4.
Yeah.
John Lou
Yeah, I think they have it.
and all won it.
So we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be
Short
back. We'll be back
breaks,
the next.
guys.
Yep, the next.
Mendham
the next
Golf and
match.
Tennis.
Yep. Stay tuned.
Enjoy, yes.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
Can you sign my chain? You are now in court. Now you are in court. I put it out on that. Why did you
I heard you laughing. How many people are we going to have now? snow's coming. I said, yeah, and I've been a member here for 20 years. The heaters are terrible. We're going to have to critique that. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, one of them.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there. Don't take it. It's like a gun holster.
Anybody want a red one? I'm gonna leave one here. My sister's on board. I went up to Paris and we had her all. She's doing well. She's doing well. I got it. You do. This is one day you she likes it. But yeah, you're right. My daughter, well, I think it's Vermont or something. But it's like grandparents. So you want your girls to have children. My girls, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna my mom. I'm like, it's funny how, like, yeah. I
and we're back here at the Mendham Golf and Tennis Club. Up next, we have Alvi Regalado out of the Orange Lawn Tennis Club, and Dan Wright playing out of Brookside Tennis and Swim Club against local pro Daniil Tarantinov of the Morristown Field Club and Russell Benkheim out of Fiddler's Elbow. I'm joined alongside Jay Grant, and Jay is a local player here at Mendham Golf and Tennis Club. Jay, how's it going?
Having a good day. Good day. Good to be here, seeing some amazing players. I mean, the athleticism is insane.
Jay, tell me about the crowd, because on the camera we can only get a little glimpse of the atmosphere. What would you say?
You know, there's been a lot of members and non-members are here. It's a big, nice group. The food's been amazing, and the paddle's been like first class. It's absolutely astounding.
Yeah, and I'll say, despite the snow coming in a little bit earlier than expected, cars are still parking and people are still coming in.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of excitement about the level of play and just the skill set. To see it firsthand is different than playing it all the time at a different level.
Okay, so I was just out there, and the ball is sliding just a little bit with the precipitation, but for the most part, the paddles are handling the ball pretty well, and points are still they're still long enough, but yet still entertaining. Shot making is still possible. As we all know, if we play in a little too much snow or rain, the ball begins to hydroplane, and self-defense is really the only strategy.
Yeah, the ball's doesn't appear to be skidding at this time, so that's good. They're probing, looking for errors. What do you think, Drew?
Yeah, I think you'll see in these first two games the players just feeling each other out with this format where you're playing with somebody new against two new partners each round. You've got to adjust quick, but at the same time, you'll use those first two games to kind of adapt to see what you want to do as a net team. From the baseline, everyone pretty much falls right into place. It's more of the net scheme that takes a little adjustment.
What percentage of the top players are serving underhand now in the game? I mean, is it 10%, 25?
I would think it's more than 10%, probably closer to 25% or 15%. The guys that do it well, very effective. Just hard to drive that ball when it's below the height of the net.
Yeah.
If you do sit it up a little bit high, then it advantage goes back to the returner.
Right.
Russell here probably has one of the best roller serves in the game. He hits it relatively hard and manages to keep it still extremely low.
I understand two of the guys just won a tournament recently. Salazar and Alvi played together, won a tournament?
Yes, they won the Baltimore Open.
When was that?
Which was
a couple weeks ago?
I believe it was in October.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Maybe November. I might be wrong, but it was October or November.
Nice.
And they're a new team, on the circuit. They've only been playing just a couple seasons tops, and already made an impact. So, you have two phenomenal tennis players who made a quick adjustment, and I think a big part of it is because they love the game and they're passionate about being good.
No, you're right. I've been watching high-level paddle for decades, and these guys are new on the scene to me. And to see them show up and be as competitive and sort of bringing a new element to the game. It's just the spins and the speed of the ball. It seems like it's accelerating from my perspective. But you're on the court. Do you think it's changing and getting faster?
So I said in the last when I was on in the first set, the depth is getting really good. You know, the team that's 20th in the country right now is much better than number 20 10 or 15 years ago. You know, I would say the average age of top players is probably a little bit lower. But one thing that's still similar is the best teams, you know, the team that wins nationals every year was just as good 20 years ago, 25 years ago. They were that strong. So the very top tier as far as the game at the very best level is still platform tennis.
Yeah.
Shot selection, patience, execution. It's good hands right there.
From where I sit as a club player, the spins that I see you guys playing with are, over the decades, have just gotten more and more complex. I mean, the action over the ball and the side cuts and all that, and you know, at the level that I'm on the court, we don't see those shots, and we're not playing those shots.
Yeah, you definitely have to be on your toes since more people are spinning the ball.
Yeah.
You know, I've been playing a lot longer than most of these guys. There was a gentleman, Brian Uline, out of Chicago. I still say on his best day out there, he put more spin on every single ball than anybody I've ever seen.
Is that right?
And I was playing against him probably, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that. So,
how have you seen the game changing and evolving in the last 10 years? I mean, it seems to change all the time from my perspective.
There's just more players coming right from college and getting into the sport. You know, so many of the clubs, you know, have large paddle programs, and if you want to be in the industry, you've got to get educated on platform tennis right away. And, and you know, playing in these tournaments and running camps and helping out with camps are all ways to become a better pro. And you know, you see all the guys on the court right now. They're top level pros, and they put the time in. Good finishing shot right there. One little thing you can't tell from the stream, you'll see with the footing. If you make a quick move one way, it's very tough to go back the other way. So players have to be a little careful pinching one way or the other, because it's actually a full commitment.
How often are you aiming for the seam on your overhead or your roller? Is it a target every time? Most of the time you swing, some of the time?
I would say it just depends on the positioning of the baseline player. It depends on how much, you know, if they're playing up in the court, you might try to go to the side a little bit more. If they're playing a little deep, you can attack the corner more. It's just a little bit open. But I think it's a feel. You'll even see there are certain players that are constantly. Mark Parsons was known for attacking the corners, both sides, with rollers every single time he hit it. And then other players who hit rollers pretty much right at the players, trying to get them to move and be a little bit more off balance. So it's a personal feel too.
Yeah.
And I might be the worst person to ask, as I might have hit 3 rollers in my entire career.
From my perspective, a lot of your shots are rollers.
Backhand. I'll hit backhand rollers. My forehand roller.
From where I sit, they all look like they're rolling pretty damn good. Unbelievable.
All right, so assuming the score is right, we've got Regalado right up 3 games to love. Things keep going this way. Alvy's going to be going home with all the money.
What is the format? I actually don't know.
So it's round robin play. Every set played is worth some prize money for the winning team. And, if you finish second in the set, you get nothing.
Look at these volleys. These reflex volleys are they're insane. The speed and the accuracy and the ability to keep it in play.
And you see right there, Avi's got a huge forehand. Meanwhile, Dan Wright just jumps in front of him, crushes the backhand. That middle's a dangerous zone.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what impresses me most with Avi's game is his commitment to the backhand volley. For being such an exceptional tennis player, you see him lock into the backhand volley and hold it, which is why you rarely see him miss a volley.
Forced an error.
Yeah, good little waterfall right there.
It seems at almost every level that changing of the tempo is as important as the speed of the ball. You know, again, from my perspective, I've been on the court a long time, but how do you deal with the difference between tempo and speed when you're teaching and playing?
You know, I hate to be Captain Obvious here, but when you're playing fast and winning, you keep playing fast.
Okay.
When points are going fast and you find yourself losing, you got to slow it down, and it really is that simple. You know, if you stay stubborn and keep it going, whatever speed you're going, it's probably going to be a quick match.
Don't change a winning game and change a losing game.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
In fact, in the last set we played, we almost came back and tied it up 5-all. We were down 5-1, and Avi, I think it was a set point, and Avi missed maybe the easiest shot he had all day, and he just didn't expect it, dumped it in the net. We get that second game, and before you know it, we have game points to make it 5-5.
Yeah.
Didn't finish it off, but again, it just goes to show, like, one rare error changed our mentality to feel like, hey, we have nothing to lose now. We just got a second line.
Like a mental error, so like a little bit of a distracted moment almost.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get a ball that you never think in a million years you would see.
Yeah.
Jay, while this match is going on, I do want to talk a little bit about our sponsors, because if it wasn't for them, ProFlight just wouldn't exist. ProFlight Paddle, it's of no expense to the players. They come on out and, you know, participate on their days off from teaching, or if they're, you know, working civilian jobs, as we call it. But you know, the food, the beverage, everything's taken care of, the prize money from all of our sponsors, and you know, just very grateful. All the players are grateful for them, and for the, you know, very generous clubs that put on these events and treat us all like professionals. It's extremely fun to play in front of their home crowds, and we enjoy each other's company traveling around to do this. So to mention our sponsors, I'd like to thank first and foremost Jeff Leach. Jeff and Cindy Jones are fully responsible for this Mendham event happening. Celebrity Motor Car, they've been a longtime sponsor of ProFlight Paddle. So when you see the star, that's Celebrity Motor Car. So go on in for a lease, or
great company.
I've got two BMWs from them, Jay.
They're great company. I know those folks well. They're good people.
They're excellent. Yes.
Yeah.
Xenon Paddle. Xenon's been the official ball for ProFlight since day one. In fact, when Xenon came out, we were the very first tournament to use a Xenon ball, and the ball has become the best out there. So thank you, Noah, for your support over the years.
Yeah, the ball's come a long way in this sport. A long way.
Captain Richard Wright, Bleakley. Captain Wright has been also, he is a paddle player out of Essex Fells Country Club. Very good friend of mine, and
Look at this. Look at these guys.
Wow, unbelievable.
Unreal.
Right on cue. That's what Ricky Wright looks like when he plays in his pajama pants. PPAC Private, John Babcock and his team have, again, they helped start ProFlight, and extremely generous and supportive. In fact, I haven't seen John yet, but
John's here.
He is here.
John's
okay.
here. Just said hello. John and I have been partners over the decades. We have 2 schools in common, actually. John's a Newark Academy guy and a Tulane grad, and that's where I did my high school and college. So, and we're both Mendham guys. So 3 things.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice, great guy, and yeah, he's played here many a time with us.
Thank you to the Paddle Partners League. Again, Cindy Jones, couldn't do this without you. We had an idea about bringing Pro Flight here many years ago, and I can't believe now this is numerous times, and I should say that might have been about 5 or 6 years ago that Cindy and I talked about coming here to Mendham, and she made it happen along with Jeff and the entire team here. Peter Tomic, Matt Hardy, who used to be at Canoe Brook working with me. He's the director of golf here. He was out helping us set up tents. So it's a full team effort.
Cindy and Jeff have been great for Mendham. They help organize and keep the club as active as it is. They're great to be on the court with.
I am very grateful for our newest sponsor, Jay, the Murray Firm, Elder Law, Estate Planning. And what I'd like to also say is Bob and Amanda Murray of the Murray Firm, LLC, just to be clear. I had the pleasure to meet Amanda today. She's here in the audience. We've been emailing back and forth over the last couple weeks, and you know, one thing I could say about all my sponsors, they all love paddle, Jay.
Bob is new to paddle. Bob and I are partners on the paddle court.
So let me ask you: are you getting dumped by all these people, or are you dumping them?
You know, it's you know, I've always said this sport is more than 50% your partner, Drew. You know, it's a team effort out there. You're only as good as your partner, and vice versa, right?
That's right.
So yeah, Bob and I teamed up this year, and we've had some fun out there. And Bob's new to the sport. He's been playing maybe 2 or 3 years, but he played Division I tennis. He's got an amazing, you know, rackets game, and he's got the ability to raise his level a lot in the future.
Oh, good.
He's got a lot of potential.
Is Bob here as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he
good.
was earlier. I don't know if he's here at the moment, but he definitely was here for a while.
Excellent. Well, I'm very appreciative of their support, and I look forward to you know, hopefully teaming up with them in future events.
I'm going to give him a plug because he's a great guy and he's good at what he does, and he's helping my family now with my estate planning. And I've been, you know, worked with a lot of different folks, and his thoroughness and his abilities are definitely appreciated when it comes to the details. Good guy to work with.
Awesome. Very nice to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, we're a point away from 5-1. Regalado serving. The snow looks like it's picking up quite a bit. A little bit tougher. Ball's getting a little bit slippery on the paddle for serves.
Again, Captain Obvious, when it's starting to slip, you're going for more. You're raising your speed to get the skidding effect.
You know, ultimately, when the court is wet and the ball is wet, you do not need to go for as much spin. However, I feel under these conditions, I like to still swing out because I don't want to hit tight. I don't want to decelerate. So I still kind of go for a spin serve, even though you don't have to, and it's probably a little bit more difficult.
Right.
But for me, I just try to keep up the swing speed. This way I don't, I guess, call it tighten up.
Right. When you're probing with your overhead at the net, Drew, I mean, and you're looking to force an error. I mean, your goal of your swing is I mean, obviously we all know the points don't just end, but what's your goal with your overhead typically?
Number one is keep it away from trouble.
Keep it away from trouble. So the opposite of not success, but avoiding being attacked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the more you stay out of trouble, the less defensive shots you have to hit.
Reaction, dollies, and all that.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think a lot of the club player mentality is hitting overheads to win the point. And the problem with that is you end up putting the ball in line of fire, and next thing you know, someone's tomahawking a forehand at you, and you lose the point.
Right. So your your first goal on your setup is to avoid offense.
That's right. Now, Jay, you're not going to tell anybody my secrets, I hope.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to learn here. I need all the help I can get. You know, it's a game of strategy, and it's a game of subtlety, and the momentum swings. I mean, you know, it's what keeps people playing all the time. You know, it's what keeps it exciting.
See there, Alvi held back from taking Dan Wright's head off. Good pressure right there from Russell Bentheim. I'm going to give you a little fun fact here, Jay.
What you got?
All 4 players are from different countries.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Who's represented?
Okay, you're going to name that country.
No, don't do that to me.
Okay.
Go ahead, but who's representing what countries?
Okay, Daniil Tarantino, representing Russia.
Russia, wow.
Russell Bentheim, representing the United States. Alvi Regalado,
yep,
representing Spain.
Wow.
And Dan Wright, represented England.
England.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
multinational tournament.
And so I will say, it hasn't been mentioned, but over the last 10 or 15 years, that's probably been one of the biggest changes in the game as well. It's definitely gone much more international at the highest level of the men and women's game, which is awesome. That means you know, the sport, there's more awareness. I know a lot of players' families are back at home watching the stream. And although there's not a whole lot of platform tennis outside of the United States, you know, it starts with awareness. So, you know, maybe one day, you know, some of these players go back home and decide to put, you know, paddle courts in at their club, for sure.
Yeah.
I just need more destinations for paddle camps, Jay. It's really...
Well, you got Ticonderoga now.
Absolutely.
That's a great spot up there.
If Patty Hogan is listening, hi, Patty. We miss you here.
We'll have to coordinate a trip. I keep my ski boat up there for the last 30 years. So we'll have to get up there and do some water skiing together.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
I'll drive the boat.
You can drive the boat. I'll ski behind it. We love Lake George. It's really a special spot. You did a camp there this past season?
Yeah. Patty and I do camps together. Preseason paddle camps.
Right.
Usually in September and October.
Nice.
The entire community embraces us coming up with different pros and players from, you know,
stay at the Trout House Village Lodge.
Trout House is spectacular.
Yeah.
When I'm up there for paddle camps, it's really a lot of fun, and you know, Ticonderoga is a special place. Just throwing this out there, I'm hoping one of my favorite players up in Ticonderoga, Sherry Burley. So
I don't know Sherry.
Well, you need to meet him. So if he's watching, Sherry, Happy New Year.
Well, Patty's brought the sport to the area, and you know, it's been amazing to watch it evolve. I mean, nobody heard of paddle up there until Patty and her husband put those courts in.
Yeah. Shout out to Sandy Morehouse.
Sandy, right.
Sandy is definitely not watching, just so you know, Jack.
I understand.
My fellow Jets fan, Sandy. All right, inching their way back. Russell not too keen on serving under the conditions. I'm curious to see if he goes with the sidearm serve or overhand.
Sidearm.
There you go.
didn't have much advantage closing in at that time. He really didn't create. There was really no opportunity for that. He kind of rushed the point a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's see. Must have been a little bit long. So what we do with Pro Flight when we don't have umpires, and most of the events we let players call their own game. We try to keep it old school.
Right.
If there's a difference of opinion, players like like the original rule, players are able to just replay the point and just move on.
Can we get a tweener there?
Little tweener, yeah.
Yeah. Your old partner was the king of tweeners. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Jared Palmer, PK.
PK, the king of tweeners, right?
PK.
He took it to a different level.
PK.
He looked for the opportunity, didn't he?
Coach PK, if you're watching, what's up, brother?
Yeah, hey, PK.
I was watching PK and John Milbank up in Boston, and PK.
Recently or years ago?
No, years ago.
Gotcha.
Ball comes off the side screen. PK ran around the easy shot to hit a tweener, and John's head almost exploded. It was priceless, but it definitely, PK, he's a people person.
Story reminds me of remember the guy who was at Park Lakes when I started playing there, Bob Sloan. Remember that name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Bob's attitude would always be, if you won the point but you didn't hit the right shot, he would still lecture you because you won the point but you didn't win it with the correct strategy. He was a strategy before his time.
Well, I think John Milbank, still gives PK a hard time about that between the legs shot in Boston.
He has a memory for points, John.
And John, I'm sorry if you forgot about it. I apologize for reminding you. Yeah, so you can see right now with the slashes, the ball's
it's hydroplaning now.
The ball's sliding.
Yeah. Remember when PK would short hop the backhand and attack it often? Remember that he had that shot where he would surprise people and step in early?
Yep, the on the rise half volley backhand.
Yeah.
Yep.
He would be looking for that the whole match. You guys won a state tournament, a state championship together?
Pat Kelly and I, we won the League Classic together.
League Classic.
Yeah. And there's the match.
Nice.
6-4 to Dan Wright and Alvi Regalado. We will be right back with Jose Salazar and Russell Bencon against Chris Humphreys and Dan Wright.
Be exciting.
We'll be right back. Thanks, Jay.
Great paddle. It was exciting. Nice talking to you.
Bye-bye.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
You can go across. Bill, Bill. You should go across. Bill, you can go across. He doesn't want to go get the gas. Go get the
Craig was like, oh, I just want to call How much do you talk about that?
I bet you guys all do.
Early on,
Ukrainian band guy. Look at that ass, Mom. Look at that ass. Look at that It's tough to play that though.
I like it anyway. I'm even healthier.
All right, we're back here at Mendham Golf and Tennis Club. This is John Lubau. I'm here with Ken Emerson and Greg Hall. We've got a great little match coming up here. We've got Russell Benkheim and Dan Wright, and they're playing. Oh wait, no, did I have that right?
No, you don't.
All right, who we got?
Chris Humphreys, Dan Wright,
Got it.
versus Ken Benkheim and
Russell Benkheim.
Russell Benkheim. Sorry.
And Jose Salazar. So so this will be fun. Court's getting a little slick. I expect that ball's going to only last a couple of games, but I don't know if they'll switch it. They've just decided. I think they're going to go right in, or maybe hit a couple. So you guys having fun today?
Great day here at Mendham Golf and Tennis. It's wonderful to enjoy this paddle. Some of the best in the country, right, John?
Yeah, we've got a lot of young pros, one or two old people like me, and actually I'm going to put Drew in that category. But it's great to get these guys out here, and there's a great crowd. A lot of people interested. We've got some great food from Chef Ron, and this is fun. You guys are both members here, right?
Yeah, for a long time, and we're very excited to have everybody here. The last match, the ball was getting a little bit squirrely because of the wetness, and so I think we're going to see some interesting changes in the way people are playing, just compared to earlier games.
Right. It's very important to hold your serve. It's very important to get to the net, because when the ball gets slick, you really want to be at the net. You don't want to be hitting up, down, overheads, no waterfalls. You just want to keep that ball as low as you can, because it loses its flocking. It gets difficult. It skids off the court. It skids off the wire. I still don't understand the physics of why it does that, but it definitely does. So
you do not want to grind, right, John? You're not grinding in this.
I mean, you just got to stay in the point and look for your chances. If you're at the back, you just got to try and get the ball back and drive through if you can. And if you're at the net, you don't want to leave the net. So
got to take control.
John, you've been playing great. I announced one of your matches 2 matches ago, and they were calling you the civilian, and you've more than held your own out there on the court.
Well, the thing is, about this game is, it's not a power game. These guys who I'm sure they've all played Division I tennis, and some even at tennis at a higher level. If you know how to play the wires, it can be to your advantage. And I've played enough wires in my time that at least I can stay in the court. And if you're the oldest and the worst guy on the court, just keep the ball in play and let the other guys decide what happens.
So many fun years of Kenny and I watching you and Steve DeRose get to the highest levels.
Yeah, no, it was.
So over the course of your career, though, you've seen a massive change in the way the sport's played. I mean, we've gone from a very conservative kind of perspective to now a lot of spin, a lot of power, and the young guys are coming into the sport with, their tennis mindset to some extent. And
I guess the biggest change has been the serve, the forehand serve. So we're getting started here. I'll be starting, and we'll see how they lost the net right away. And Dan Wright right here I think he's a civilian too. So we've got at least two civilians here today. Oh, good lob.
So Chris was missing that shot earlier tonight, and he just ripped that one really well.
Yeah, he likes the two-hand turnaround, or turnaround. I like that too. I can't hit it nearly as good as Chris can, but it's very effective, because he hits it low and it comes low over the net, and it's tough to do something with. Russell Benkheim, who's hitting the overheads right now. Young guy, I think he's only 23 or 24 years old. He works over at Fiddler's Elbow for Dave Broderick, with Dave Broderick, but kind of for Dave Broderick. And he's a good talent. He's got a really nice serve, and he's got a lot of skill. I think it's not going to be long. He's going to learn the game a little bit, and and we should see him doing well in tournaments in the future.
Yeah, so in his most recent tournament, he did very well. They were talking about the fact that he, is relatively new and yet becoming very competent quickly.
Well, the learning curve for these guys is so quick because they've got such great racket skills. I remember when I started playing, on the C team at the field club for a couple of years, then the B team, and politics gets you finally up onto the A team, and there's just a lot more good players. There weren't that many pros back then, but there clearly are now, and they're all and they're making the best of it.
John, you played one of these guys in the League Classic, right? Who was that you played? Was that the quarters or the semis?
I don't think so.
That you played? Did you play one of these guys? You played Daniil, right?
I played with Daniil.
Played with Daniil.
No, the only one I played them in the regular season. I didn't play Jose. I don't think he's from New Jersey.
How often are these guys for fun with you and others on a Sunday morning, afternoon, playing pickup?
You know what? When they're not teaching, I love to play with Alvy. I play out with Alvy a bunch of times. I haven't played with Chris as much for fun. He's working a lot. And I did play with Russell a couple of a month or two ago. It's great to get out there, when it doesn't matter. You can work on shots and you can play some crazy points. It's a long game right here. I guess we're at the deuce. Game point, double game point.
Server decides, John. Who wants that?
The server decides,
Server.
which I think is a good rule.
Yep.
You have to decide whether you're going to serve to the weaker return. Oh, there's a good shot by Chris.
Nice cut shot by Humphries.
Or whether you're going to serve to the side you prefer to serve. In our last match at 5-2 or 5-3, at deuce, I decided to serve to Humphries because I felt I had a better chance of not faulting to the deuce side.
And he wants his backhand.
Yeah. Oh, that's a tough serve by Chris. He's Alvy's obviously a righty, but he jams it into that side there. And then another tough serve. He spins hard off the wire.
30 love, Humphries right.
Yep. Should be Chris hitting these overheads because I see that's what you're at. That's a great shot by Dan.
Great shot.
But you don't. You really want the guy hitting the overheads that has the spin. Easy hold.
Quickly 2 love.
So guys, when do they? Is this a new hut? Did they do this? Is this a new facility here? I played here. It didn't look like that. A lot like this. I think I played here.
The last hut, I remember Kenny and I would have paddle meetings in it, and we'd have little mice running around in it, right?
There was actually police tape around one corner. You couldn't walk in the corner because it would collapse. So it's
wow.
Yeah.
Kenny was instrumental, John, in getting this hut for us.
Wow.
Yeah. So Craig got me onto the paddle committee, and
Kenny did the rest.
And then gave me the job of getting the paddle hut built. And Jay's standing here with us, and he announced a little while ago, but he was fundamental to me being able to get this hut done.
Excellent. Well, I remember I used to play with Jay here in the late '90s, and actually, first time I played paddle at this club was 1984 in the snow with my buddies at Del Barton when I was a junior or senior at Del Barton.
Very cool.
And we drove. I think you had to drive like across the golf course to get to wherever the paddle courts were. But that was pretty fun back, the previous century.
The growth has been great. We probably have 4 men's teams, 5 women's teams, I believe. Pitar Tomic, who's our pro, has done an outstanding job and bringing
really
flow flight here.
Yep.
Yeah, I met him today. He's a great guy. Good little attack there.
So, John, one of the things we were talking about earlier, and I know has become a point of conversation recently, is the fact that people are putting so much spin on the ball, and yet the opponents know what that spin is going to do, so they can get the ball back with regularity. And so the question is, why are they imparting all that energy into a shot that is not necessarily going to be?
You can get,
you could get lucky, or you could. I get it, and I think it's an awesome evolution of the sport. Really, I mean, I think it adds a great dynamic component to what they're doing out there, and makes it interesting for the viewer, without a doubt.
Hey, spin is spin's here to stay. So
do you think that it might become something where people are more selective in using it at some point, where they kind of like only bring it out when they feel like it's really going to happen?
It's good to have a lot of different shots, but I think if you have the spin and if you, the best shot in the game is the game that somebody's not going to drive back.
Right.
So as long as they're not driving back. By the way, I just realized this is not Alvy, it's Jose. Sorry, everybody. That's Alvy is not in this match. It's Jose Salazar. I think I was. Can't really see their faces, but yeah, Jose, who was Alvy's partner and has had a great season, and he's just picking up the game. But
well, speaking of some
that's the weather right there, right?
Yeah,
That totally.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's tough because if Jose lets that go off the wire, who knows where it's going to go.
Yeah, but Alvy and Jose did a phenomenal job at Baltimore, right? And they're still only relatively new in this sport. It's going to be interesting to see where they go this year.
What's next for them? Probably Short Hills?
I don't know. Maybe Atlantic.
Atlantic.
I think what's next for Alvy is giving lessons at Orange Lawn.
The last match.
Where's Jose? Is he at Stanwich?
Quickly for love.
Yeah.
Humphrey's right.
Yeah, you guys better get in any mentions of anybody you want to quickly because this could be over.
Right.
7 more points.
So John, you're playing next. So it's a fan favorite, crowd favorite. They want to see the dagger from you. Can you talk a little bit about the dagger? And will it come out next match?
It's kind of a joke shot. I think I'll, if there's an opportunity to hit it, usually maybe like love 40 on my serve if somebody serves up a floater that I can hit. Although it is an effective shot done, executed, but it's it's always fun to try.
Well, I do think you got it in on the League Classic streaming.
What's that?
The League Classic streaming, I think you hit a dagger too.
I don't think I was on the Classic streaming. Maybe.
No? Then it was the tournament.
I don't know.
I know I saw you hit it recently.
There is a shot you can YouTube John Lubau and the dagger. I think it does.
There is? Oh. Yeah. I'd like to see that. I'm usually looking the other way at it.
All right, 4-1.
Yep, on the board.
They are on the board.
See, that's the good return by Jose. See, that's what you might have to do there is just try and block it back, and you gotta aim into the court because when Humphreys hit it, it shoots off your paddle and wants to go to the right. Good return.
Yeah, you can tell now that the ball is skidding a lot more now.
That's what happened right there. If you're trying to return an overhead from a lefty like that, you just have to aim more to the left because the ball shoots off your paddle. Yeah.
Snow is coming down. It's definitely getting a little slicker out there.
Oh,
there is food though. There's more chicken sandwiches. There's steak sandwiches. Come on down.
Just out.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah. Just as much spin as you can on the ball.
You're going to have a fun next match, John.
Wow, I don't even know. Who am I playing? Do you know? I don't want to. I'd rather sit on the couch.
You'd rather stay right here, maybe announce it?
I played 3 times.
Craig will take your place.
No.
That's a great shot.
And he got it.
It's a great touch out of Dan and good get by Jose. Yeah, that's the strange thing about in this weather. In dry weather, that overhead that Chris hit might bounce to the left, not the right. But then when it hits off the deck, it just bounces. And there you go. See, you can see these guys. It's very difficult to control the ball.
Crowd's getting wild out there. (5-1). Humphreys right.
Yep.
Salazar Bakeman serving 30-15.
Nice volley.
Good drive, great volley. Just missed it.
Yep. get by Chris.
He had a good one earlier tonight.
Dan, see that forehand by Dan Wright? He doesn't usually hit a drive forehand, but he's got that slice. It's kind of a slice. He's just got to get it over the net. It's very difficult to volley because it goes right down off your paddle.
I've seen your old partner Steve DeRose do that a little bit.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah, he does, absolutely. But he's got a topspin forehand too.
Is there a shot that he doesn't have?
No, probably not. All right.
So we're at 5-2, changing sides. John, what about you in terms of tournaments? What tournaments are you playing these days?
Maybe the 55s.
55s?
We'll see.
Is that Short Hills?
No,
that's
actually,
Nationals.
Yeah, 55 Nationals. They haven't had it for a couple of years.
Who are you playing with that?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet. I think Scott Manziger and I are defending champions, but I don't think they've had it in a couple of years. It's good forehand by Chris right there. So you see that serve by Dan. He takes a little off the serve so he can get in. So you can hit the serve hard, or you can and have it go hopefully off the wire, or you can hit a little bit softer and get in quickly. And he's very quick to get into the net.
Oh
yeah,
just weather.
Yeah,
skid ball.
Yeah,
you can't serve up the short short lobs into the service box. Oh, there's an ace.
That looks like this is a
match point.
Double
match point.
Double point, match point.
And set point.
Yeah.
Totally on the defense against these overheads.
There you go.
Can't really change that.
All right. Well, thanks,
Set.
guys. That was fun.
Humphrey's
Appreciate
right.
that. Thank you very much.
6-2. Thank you, John. Good luck in your next round.
Thank you very much.
We're going to
Lovely
take a
day.
break here from Mendham Golf and Tennis and be back in.
You got it. We'll be back for the next
2
round.
minutes.
Couple minutes.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
How are you? Good to see you. How are you guys doing? You enjoying this?
Hey, what's up, guys? We're back for the round 5 here at Mendham Golf and Tennis. I have with me here 2 Mendham members, Bob Murray and Jay Grant. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're having fun watching some amazing paddle.
Doing wonderful. Happy to be here and this beautiful afternoon. Got some snow. Makes for an interesting game here for sure.
Yeah. You know, like we're super excited to have another amazing match here on our court 2. The conditions are significantly shifting the type of the match that we're going to be watching right now. It's getting a little bit slippery, a little bit slick, so the ball is sliding and going through the court more. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out.
So Pete, when you have some conditions like this, what are some things that you're going to do when you're on the offensive, when you're at the net? Are you spinning it more? What are some things that you're really looking to do strategy-wise?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you are, you know, in these conditions, hitting some of the topspin forehands from the back and like hitting the actual ground strokes is something that you are trying to force back players to kind of hit. You know, because there's not that much control on a paddle and the ball coming off of the paddle. But at the same time, yes, you're absolutely right. We're looking to spin a little bit more from the top and just kind of make it any type of rotation, controlled rotation in a snow is really delivering some serious damage for the backcourt. So as we can see here, so you see like Chris Humphrey's serve, like it became very
hydroplane.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Bob, like you were the winner of the consolation at League Classic, right?
Yeah, me
Awesome.
and so Jay and I were supposed to play, but unfortunately, you know, Jay got COVID last minute, but Rob Scanoni fortunately got a sub for me last minute and played with a guy, Dan Ross, out of Glen Ridge. Lost a tough first rounder, but then ran the back draw in the in the B division, and we left with some hardware and got the whiskey glasses.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So how was that whole experience for you?
League Classic is my favorite competition I've ever played in my entire life in all of sports. It's if you're in New Jersey and you play paddle and you're not playing the League Classic, then you're missing out, or at least showing up to watch it, because it's such a fun Saturday. And that Monday, wherever it is, whether last 2 years it's been at Fairmont Country Club, Saturdays it's been at Short Hills. I tell every single person I know who's moderately interested in the sport to show up, because it's the best showcase of what this sport's about in the community that I've been around personally.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, so here we have Drew and Dan playing Humphreys and Alvi. Arguably Chris Humphreys has been now one of the very established Jersey players, and Alvi as well. Arguably we're watching two younger, the hottest paddle players in Jersey right now. But it's interesting to see. We've been talking for a little bit, but it's already 1-1. The games are going significantly quicker than we would expect.
Because the speed of the spinning on the court, it just makes for the footing and the slipperiness. The guys aren't going to be as aggressive running balls down. They're going to play to stay safe, and I think first and foremost, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is, we're super lucky to have this type of event here, but we're definitely not looking for any type of injury. So, I think that everyone is kind of taking it in as much as they can, playing as best as they can, but there's definitely a little bit of that peace of mind that no one wants to get really injured.
And Pete, what's your thought, and Jay, you as well chime in on this. What's your thought on, do these conditions favor the favorite, the underdog? I mean, and strategy-wise, going for a little bit more as soon as you get that opportunity to spin it. What's your thought on how this plays out between these two?
For better or worse, it seems that no matter what the conditions are, the better team ends up on top. So right. I don't know that maybe the underdog has a better advantage. The points are definitely shorter, so you could say that it's tilted to the underdog in the sense that they don't have to be as consistently, keeping the ball in play, because they might win a point because it's a quicker point.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I think when you have underdogs on the other side, they will get some free points, right? They will get in that match a little bit easier. Then it was a beautiful sunny day, and Drew Broderick is hitting that signature cutter in that corner. Right now, because of the conditions, it's harder to cut that ball to the extent where the underdog is going to be struggling so much in a corner. So they will have a little bit more opportunity. But yeah, I do have to agree with Jay that at the end of the day, the better team will come on top.
Okay.
See, even there, Chris can't really cut it as much. And also, what's really interesting is that you can't really let the ball run away from you as much because of the slipperiness of the courts. You can't really run as fast to it. Oh, great waterfall.
So we have two teams here with both a lefty and a righty. But in this situation, and I've oftentimes seen shifts where you try to get the lefty on one particular side. But right now, we have one lefty on the ad side, one on the deuce. What's the thought process on, side to play? And I know Dan's known for his, one of the best backhands out there. What's the thought process on where you put the lefty in a situation like this?
Oh, what a shot. What a
incredible.
I think that it all comes down to partnerships and what you want to do as a team. So right now, exactly right. Drew is playing that forehand and hitting some of the forehands, but Danny's gonna be driving more backhands from the middle. And on the other hand, you have Alvi and Chris, and Alvi loves that ad side. Alvi loves flying into that side screen and hitting that backhand. And Chris is also amazing from that screen on a backhand side. So I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the partnership and what they want to do as a team. The beauty of having a lefty and a righty, you can play any way you want. It's just that you have to figure out what you want to do as a team and where's your offense, who's going to be more kind of like a setter versus an aggressive player. Oh, that's a great hit.
It's definitely a game of communication with your partner.
Yeah.
It's encouraging them, but not only that, but to communicate what you're going to do, and yours, mine, and just being. The sooner you tell your partner that you have that ball, then that person can go to the next position to set up for the next shot. So it's a lesson we learn every day when we play this sport, because you have to relearn it and relearn it.
Yeah. How we had numerous people today in a booth here, and we were kind of asking and talking about the same thing. You guys have been playing paddle for some time. What do you feel like? What do you feel like that the game is transitioning, and do you see the game becoming faster and people hitting some of the different shots that they never hit before? Cutters, for example, are hit less and less. Rollers are being hit more and more.
I think the answer certainly has to do with the level you play. I mean, I would say I'm a club level player, and these guys are pro level players. So, what they're doing and what we're doing at a different level, or we're not really playing the same aggressiveness, because we don't have the same racket control. That's what separates them from us. And our shots are more predictable, I would say. At least speaking for myself. Bob here's got a lot more opportunity to change the stroke, but it's all level specific, right? So many different levels.
Yeah. How about you, Bob?
Jay, I completely agree. Just I'm always looking to get in games where you see these shots, because most players that I'm playing against aren't putting this type of spin on it and then have this type of action, and then you have to get used to it. But as to what I'm seeing a lot more is definitely a lot of rollers. It's why you see the cut shots, you see other shots. One of the, and he's not here now, but watching Russell's forehand roller, that's one of the coolest shots that I think I've seen from the entire day. Just that big topspin, keeping it low. It's so fun to watch these guys, because they do things with the ball and create the rotation that you don't see until you get to that really, really high level.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's what I mean. But it also has to do with the fact that there's a lot more tennis players entering the game, So the quickest offensive shot that you'll learn at the net is actually a roller, not a cutter, So
is that racket when Chris hits an overhead, like one of those overheads, is that racket very loose in his grip? It's really not a tightly held racket.
Yeah.
When he's making contact with that.
Exactly. There's a lot of wrist action. There's a lot of looseness in it, And I think that from that perspective, you kind of have to go through the ball as much as you can. And if you have a stiff wrist and tight grip on it, it will just not go.
You can't create that speed, or that spin, rather.
Right. What a catch. Ali's just so athletic. That's one of his biggest advantages in the game.
When Drew and I were watching earlier, Drew pointed out we had a guy from the U.S., a guy from Spain, a guy from Russia, and a fourth country. Now I'm trying to remember who was out there. So there were four different countries were represented at the last game that I was helping comment.
Yeah, no, the game is definitely expanding, and there's a lot more people playing from all over the world. So it's amazing. Oh, that's a great forehand, great volley.
So I know of this mostly as a U.S. sport. Do you know of Europe or other countries that have, or they're cold weather countries that have this as well?
So obviously padel is the closest that we would get on a big scale, but there are some. I've seen some courts in eastern countries, but it's not to the level of tournaments and leagues. And it's more of a, hey, this is a court
within a club setting, or is that?
No, it's mostly kind of like one of those recreational things.
Okay.
But when you watch them play, it's really kind of like whatever I can hit, I'll hit, right? There's not that much of a strategy or anything else. So still mainly American / Northeast, really. A little bit of California in it.
Yeah.
South is getting a decent amount of players out now.
How long have you seen padel in Europe? How long has that sport been played?
I mean, I don't know exactly when it was founded and all of that, but ever since I was, really, really young, like
So
I knew of the padel courts.
Because it's new in the U.S. I mean, we're just learning about it.
Yeah.
At least I am. I think it's new in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's coming here, but
Yeah.
I wasn't aware how long
Great coach.
had been going on in Europe.
Yeah, like I said, it's ever since I remember, like any type of racket sport, I know that padel was around.
Right.
Now, I spent a lot of my time in Spain, so that might be one of the factors, because most of the course that I've seen was in Spain. So,
wow.
Oh, what a cutter.
What's the set score?
4-3.
4-3.
Yeah, 4-3. Chris Humphreys and Alvi Regalado. It almost seemed like that Alvi and Chris had a very tight grip on this match, but suddenly Drew and Dan are really kind of squeezing that in.
You never count Drew out, right?
Oh, never. Never. I played him a little bit earlier, and, you think you're surprising him, and it's not happening.
Yes, at least 3, maybe 4 national championships. I think definitely 3. I'm sure. I don't know if it's 4.
Yeah. I'm not that great with statistics, but yeah, definitely. What a shot! That was a great poach.
So small world situation. Probably back in 2011, 2012. Oh, look at that one.
How was that?
Not sure what happened there, but I used to coach tennis, and I used to run some USTA tournaments, and Dan Wright would be playing the USTA tournaments, 14s, 16s, and he would come and win every single tournament at the club that I was at. And, got to meet his parents, and, his parents are both from, I believe, the UK. Very nice family, and one of those nice families, not, you've been around some tennis families, and wonderful family. And then I always remember him being such a smart player, not the flashiest guy, but won everything because he just never lost his cool, was such a great player. And then, 2021, I go to watch the League Classic Monday Finals, and I end up seeing his dad there. I didn't even realize it was the same kid, and then it's a small world situation where 10 years later. So now every year I get to run into Mr. and Mrs. Wright at the League Classic, because Dan seems to make it to that Monday every year now.
Small world, and that's just, it attests again to the fact that you see a lot of tennis players find the joy in paddle.
It is addicting. I am admittedly caught the bug, more committed this year than ever, and you heard it here. I'm going to try to make it to that League Classic Monday one of these days.
It's a good goal, Bob.
Yeah.
Set the goal.
Set them high. Set them high.
Exactly.
And then, right.
Exactly. Make it to the afternoon first.
Right. Exactly. I got to win a main draw match. I just keep winning consolation. So, but I keep getting some whiskey glasses. Maybe those whiskey glasses aren't a good thing. Maybe
sometimes it's not a bad tactic of having, like, you win, you lose, and then you're down by lunch.
Right.
And,
Hey, on a Sunday backdraw event that I was in many years ago, I came across a guy who was just learning the sport, Clay Bibby, and I still get to tell Clay that I beat him that day.
Nice.
Because he was early in his paddle career.
And he was in there in the semis this year. So he and James Glenn played Humphreys, and who was Humphreys' partner in that? Mike Stulak, Hall of Famer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we just have a score from a second court. Daniil and Jose beat Russell and John Lubau. Score was 6-3.
So you have a different partner every time. Are you keeping score with the number of points, games you win, or what?
Not really. It's just that.
What's the format for
The
that?
format is you try to play with everyone. You know, like I mean, obviously the weather is getting heavier and heavier, so our goal is to try to play with every single player once, and then yes, you keep this track like who.
By the number of games you won.
And by amount, an amount of matches and amount of games, and then we will have kind of like a clear winner kind of thing.
Right.
Or maybe a couple of drinks, we have multiple winners.
Right. Everyone wins who doesn't get hurt.
Exactly. Exactly.
Everyone's having that fun out here. It's a great day.
Amazing. You know, we're so happy to have this event in our club. Now, second year in a row, and you know, this year we had a huge support from all these pros. Shout out to all of them for just coming and going through this on a Saturday through this weather right before the season.
Yeah, it's nice to see this level of play on our Mendham courts.
Absolutely.
And Pete, I think some credit goes to you on being who you are to be able to rally all this together, because this is no joke to put together. And you got the wrecking crew of New Jersey paddle here on not the prettiest Saturday, but still great to be here.
Well, to be honest, and thank you, Bob. Like, I mean, you know, like a lot of people got involved in organizing this, and you know, everyone came through. But also, you know, what's the paddle without a little bit of a snow? You know, so
absolutely.
So you know, we're sitting here looking over this beautiful lake, you know, covered in snow, and you know, you see all these players competing, and it can't get better than that.
Totally. Well,
Pete,
you're super modest, but I don't think Mendham was doing this before you came around. So thank you for raising the level of everything that we do around here.
Thank you. No, it's a pleasure, you know, because as you can see today with you guys and everyone else who came and supported us, you see that the interest is always there. It's just we need to rally some troops, and obviously we've been very fortunate to have people come and respond and recognize some of these events. So we're super lucky in that sense. Oh, great gets though.
Now, would you guess the ball's pretty bare at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
It's done.
Okay. Because I saw a few of Humphrey's serves where it looks like it's not even catching on his paddle at this point.
Yeah, it's at this point the ball is just the rubber. There's like nothing on it. You put a combination of all these guys' spins plus the snow, you'll get the ball without anything on it anymore. You know, and that's why in one of the bigger tournaments, or most of the tournaments actually, they start switching balls after 7 games when the conditions start being like this. You know, because it's just you can't really play properly. Yeah.
Can't ask for more than this. Wait, just add break point 5-all.
Yeah,
Love it.
I think so.
Business end of the match.
Oh, there's the one.
This is a key point.
Yeah. Do we know who's? We have 30 on the screens, but it's definitely add in or out.
Oh, what a shot. Great dig by Chris Humphreys.
There's that communication. Let his partner know who's
good
in
eye.
charge.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. It was
got the
deuce.
hold.
Yep. 6-5. Dan and Drew. So what's next for you guys? Are you guys playing something this winter? Any tournaments? Anything?
So we're in the process of registering for the Short Hills Invitational.
Oh, nice.
We don't know how it exactly works, but we're playing in the 95 plus, Jay and I. So Chris, I think, is running that. So we'll have to make sure that he somehow gets us in there.
We're going to put an application in his pocket.
Right, exactly. We're going to make sure he knows about it before he leaves here.
Yeah. That's our new goal for the afternoon.
Exactly.
To confirm our ability to be at that game.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's an awesome event, you know. I'm excited to play that one as well. So,
and I was talking to Chris, and I guess he's a big snowboarder. I love the winter sports as well and do that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to get him out on the mountain around here as
there
well.
We go.
You got to do what you got to do.
That's not a bad way to like kind of like put your name out there.
Right,
Bob, let's secure our spot when Chris gets off the court.
Exactly.
What an overhead.
What an overhead. A lot of power.
30s.
Pete, so one of the things I struggle with is these points right here, 30 all, 6-5, these things. What are some things you do to keep calm? Because I tell you what, I try to breathe. My heart is beating out of my chest. The anxiety you feel in this, in a different way than you do in tennis, because you get the 2 serves. What are some things that you think to yourself when in those spots?
Oh, let's see this. Oh, deuce, another match point. I think, you just have to be prepared to grind here, right? There's nothing else you can do. So you see two fast points. On 6-5, 4-30, 30-40, and I think that you have to kind of be prepared to. It's not even about like breathing and staying calm. It's about the anticipation of what's about to happen, And I think being prepared to play very long points, picking your spots, and just being prepared to hit 50, 60 shots, And the point is over sooner. Fine, right? But I think that's it starts from a mentality perspective, right? Like I am gonna grind here as much as I can, but I'm not gonna give them something where they can really punish me. So it's a controlled aggression in that sense, and you're just simply waiting for the right shot. Because if you start driving or blitzing out of nowhere, it might give you success in that one instance, but it will not be long term. Whoa. I don't know
sure what happened there. Pete, so one of the things I noticed that a lot of the players do in paddle that you would never do in tennis is either on the overhead, or if you're hitting a cut, or even on the volley sometimes, you'll put the right foot in front of the left foot.
Yeah.
For a righty, that is.
Yeah.
Where in tennis you'd always keep that right hip back.
Yeah.
Tell me,
it just opens up your hips a little bit more, and just kind of like allows you to rotate around the ball. Because as we can see, it's all about rotations, right? And you're trying to sneak in even that little, as much as you can. You try to sneak in and make the difference, So 3-1. Let's see. 3-1 by Drew and Dan. Let's see if we're going to have a grind point here. So far, steady. Oh, what a forehand by Alvi.
What's the game?
Oh, that was out. Oh, no. It was in.
Oh, changed it. Okay,
yeah.
3-2.
Yeah. Let's see that back
in. Pete, in like, let's say the pro level tournament play.
Yeah.
What kind of inclement weather rules do they have?
Play it through.
You play it through. Okay.
No stopping.
We played some and it's, at those moments you start questioning, do I really need this?
Okay.
Because we played Montclair Open. We played through some heavy rain, and it was not pretty of a day. But you kind of go into it knowing that this might happen.
Right.
We are playing it in winter outside, so for all of us crazy folks, you kind of go in knowing that that's what you're going to get. 5-3. Alvi and Chris.
It's one of the things that makes the sport so alluring, because if you're going to play and 4 guys are committed, you can play in this weather. It's not the same, but you can get a good workout, have fun, and be competitive.
And be outside.
Be outside,
exactly. Oh, water.
Yeah. I'd rather do this than couch potato.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at that slice. Oh, my God.
Oh, what a get. Oh. Incredible playing. 6-3.
Humphreys and Chris and Alvi on lockdown all of a sudden.
Yeah. Wait, 5-4.
Oh, okay. I thought. No.
I thought they won that point.
They just changed. Oh yeah. I did too, but
Oh, okay.
I'm confused.
Oh, okay. I might have missed it as I was seeing Chef Ron leaving. I was like, oh man, good food. He's over.
Shout out to Chef Ron.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those steak sandwiches were incredible.
Absolutely, no joke.
Fantastic. I agree. Oh. A little bit of a tired error from Chris.
Here we go. Let's see it. But here we should see something of a long point, unless Alvy and Chris pull the trigger.
Look at the overheads are getting
Oh,
harder
he
and
got
harder.
hit. Got
The
pegged.
hydroplane.
Got pegged.
Oh,
Yep, Alvy got pegged.
Oh, 6-all in the tiebreaker. Love it.
Might get any tighter than that. Oof.
Oh.
I guess what goes around comes around, right? Like, you got pegged, but then you get a let for it, so.
And that's the,
Good living right there.
Yeah, right?
If the conditions were dry, Drew would have probably played that off the back screen.
Oh, yeah.
Almost definitely.
You know, and even though Chris right there ran for it, it's not the safest
not
thing.
the same, no.
You know, so.
You can't stop and start.
Great touch. And that's what you were talking about it earlier, Bob, about Dan. Like, such a smart kind of like play, low balls, sneak in behind it. Very intelligent play. Another match point.
Slashes. The slash over him.
There we go. Longer of a point.
So Pete, and I know at my level, I prefer to be at the net in these situations. At this level, would you? Obviously, everyone feels comfortable at all parts of the court, but where do you think these guys would prefer to be? Up in the net or grinding from the baseline? What a shot!
What a match!
That can't beat that.
Yeah. I mean, in these conditions, definitely up. You know, like it's kidding. So,
right.
But yeah, what a match!
That was awesome.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the last stream match here at Mendham Golf and Tennis, and we're super excited that we had this Pro Flight event in our club. We're gonna catch you sometime next time. All right, have a good day, gentlemen. Bye.
Nice job, everybody.
Take care.